Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Solskjaer facing the sack. Fabrizio Romano said recently that Solskjaer's job is in danger, but he also said that the board wants Solskjaer to improve tactically. Reflecting on the 4-2 defeat to Leicester at the weekend, the pressure has mounted on Solskjaer. It was the first time Manchester United lost away from home in the Premier League since January 2020. Manchester United are winless in their last 3 league games, and Manchester United have only won 2 of their last 7 games in all competitions. The vast majority of Manchester United fans are Ollie out. After the 4-2 defeat to Leicester, The Athletic came out and said that Solskjaer will not be sacked by Manchester United despite Man United's poor form. So Solskjaer's job is safe. And apparently he will be allowed to spend up to 70 million in January. Now, reports from Spain have said today that Manchester United have contacted Zinedine Zidane with the recommendation of Cristiano Ronaldo. I think Zidane would do a really good job at Manchester United. Also, recent reports have said that Antonio Conte is waiting for a call from Manchester United. Earlier on this season, it said Conte would accept the Man United job if Solskjaer was to get sacked. Conte made it clear that he wants a winning project. So reflecting on that, he rejected Arsenal and he rejected Tottenham. Conte is available because he left Inter Milan at the end of last season. Conte is the favourite to replace Solskjaer at Manchester United. Conte has got a good pedigree behind him. Won a lot of silverware in his home nation. When he was in his first season at Chelsea, he won the Premier League, so Conte has managed in the Premier League before. But I think if Conte came to Manchester United, he'd get us back to that level where we should be at, and he would suit the strappings of the club. At one point, Mauricio Pochettino was in talks with Manchester United. Unfortunately, we didn't get Pochettino because Pochettino went to PSG. Manchester United have also held talks with Erik ten Hag. If Solskjaer does get sacked, he'll be the 4th permanent manager to be sacked since Ferguson, because we've already sacked 3 managers. We sacked David Moyes, sacked Louis van Gaal, and we sacked Jose Mourinho. If bad results persist, from now, I think Solskjaer will be sacked by Christmas. I can't see Solskjaer getting until the end of this season. Solskjaer has ran out of excuses because Manchester United have got a very good squad. It's a title winning squad. So in reality, we should be winning the Premier League this season. Plus, Manchester United endured a very good summer transfer window this year. We made 4 signings. We brought Tom Heaton in on a free from Villa, brought Sancho in from Borussia Dortmund, brought Varane in from Real Madrid, and we re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. We spent around 141 million in this year's summer transfer window. Plus, Solskjaer received very good backing. John Murtough backed him. Darren Fletcher backed him. Ed Woodward has backed Solskjaer, and he's made it clear that he's standing by Solskjaer. And the Glazers backed Solskjaer, but only because they'd been persuaded to. You know, my concerns about Solskjaer is that he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. And his decision making concerns me. Well, it concerns a lot of Manchester United fans. Analysing the vast majority of the games Solskjaer's managed at Man United, he's been tactically naive. And revert back to what I've said so many times before, I'm surprised that Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager, but the reason he's still Manchester United manager is because he's a legend of the club. That's what's kept him here. Disregarding being a legend of the club, I can assure he wouldn't have been here now. Solskjaer signed a new contract with the club in the summer until 2024. There's an option of a further year, and we made a mistake giving Solskjaer that new contract because I can assure he won't see it out. If Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager in December, he'll be celebrating 3 years in charge. You know, this season is Solskjaer's 3rd full season as Man United manager. And I did mention at the start of this season that this season was going to be massive for Solskjaer because he's got big expectations to exceed. Revert back to what I've said before, Solskjaer has to win a trophy as Manchester United manager to save his job. He's not yet won a trophy as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards, and earlier on this season, Solskjaer did say that we must leave a legacy of silverware. Well, we know Solskjaer's ambition for this season, and that's to win the Premier League, but obviously we're not going to win the Premier League under him. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. But I just feel as though that Solskjaer is in a position that he shouldn't be in. And I just feel as though that the expectations are far too high for Solskjaer to exceed. Despite me criticising Solskjaer a lot during his managerial tenure at Man United, I have got to give him credit in some aspects. I've got to say Solskjaer has done a pretty good job to say the current squad he was left with when he got appointed in as Man United manager, because he was inheriting a lot of deadwood and he's still inheriting some deadwood now. I thought Solskjaer would have done far worse than he has done. I like the way Solskjaer develops the youth, so I've got to give him credit for that. Solskjaer has more or less given everybody their chances to express themselves, including the young players. I think he has brought consistency back in certain aspects. Solskjaer has signed 14 players so far as Manchester United manager and spent like 441 million. He's enjoyed like 5 transfer windows so far as permanent Man United manager. In the summer of 2019, Ollie recommended Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January 2020, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odi Nagala in on loan. In the summer of 2020, he brought Edison Cavani in, Donny van der Beek, Alex Telles, Amad Diallo and Facundo Pellistri. And in this year's summer transfer window, he brought Heaton in, Sancho, Varane and re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. To all his credit as well, he has got rid of a lot of players since he's come in, which he knew he had to do. Loaned a few players out in this year's summer transfer window. He obviously loaned Brandon Williams out, Andres Pereira, Ethan Laird, Axel Tuanzebe to Heath Chon and Facundo Pellistri. Also loaned some players out in January, but obviously some of them players are now back from them loans. Ollie's got rid of a lot of players permanently. Obviously offloaded Daniel James in this year's summer transfer window. He was the only player we sold in this year's summer transfer window, so that was disappointing from a Man United perspective. Solskjaer also released Sergio Romero and Joel Pereira. Ollie's also offloaded Borthwick Jackson and James Wilson. In January, Ollie offloaded Agallo, Rojo and Fossa-Mensah. Ollie's also offloaded players like Ashley Young, Valencia, Darmian, Smalling. Also offloaded Fellaini back in January 2019. Ollie also offloaded Ander Herrera. Also offloaded Angel Gomez. He also offloaded Sanchez and Lukaku. So they're a lot of the players we've got rid of permanently under Ollie. You can say that some progress has been made under Solskjaer. Solskjaer's got us to semi-finals. He got us to the FA Cup quarter-final last season. And last season he got us to the Europa League final. And that was his first major final as Man United manager. But unfortunately, we didn't win it. And last season we finished second and we finished third in Solskjaer's third full season. And we have extended a lot of players' contracts under Solskjaer. Earlier on this season, Solskjaer said that he wants new contracts for 5 players. That's Marcus Rashford, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba. Like I said to you so many times, when we're inconsistent and when we've been inconsistent and when results aren't going our way and that, not all of the blame stems from Solskjaer. He's accountable for certain things, but I think there's some players that have got to take responsibility. Because there's still some players at Man United that are not good enough to represent the club. Manchester United's squad is worth around 805 million. You know, we've got the best player in the world in Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo did play against Leicester at the weekend. He was anonymous for the vast majority of that game. He had a couple of chances but didn't convert them. I thought in the game against Leicester, Ronaldo didn't get enough service. Ronaldo tried to storm off the pitch in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester, but Solskjaer stopped him. Prior to the game against Leicester, Ronaldo informed Solskjaer that he wants to play in every single league game after Ronaldo was left on the bench against Everton. Don't forget, Ronaldo got named Premier League Player of the Month for September. Ronaldo's done well though since he's re-signed. He's scored 5 goals for Man United in all competitions so far. Earlier on this season, he said Ronaldo wants to retire at Manchester United, then coach Cristiano Jr. in the Red Devils youth team. And prior to the Villa game earlier on this season, Solskjaer said he believes Ronaldo can keep playing for Man United into his 40s. He's 36 at the moment. Ronaldo's already hinted that he's looking to stay at Man United beyond his current contract. Ronaldo's under contract with Man United till 2023. There's an option of a further year. Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United at the moment. Ronaldo wears the number 7 shirt, and we got him for 19.8 million with add-ons included. Ronaldo has won 32 major trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. You've got Mason Greenwood, that's also a good player. You know, Greenwood scored a stunning goal against Leicester last weekend. It was his 4th goal in the Premier League so far this season. Greenwood could have had a couple of more goals because he had some other good chances. I think there was one chance where he hit the post. Greenwood gets a lot of game time now under his belt. You know, he's a long-term future for Man United, Greenwood, you know, still young, got a lot of development in him. Don't forget though, there was one point where Greenwood went a long time without scoring, but despite that, Greenwood's been an absolute revelation since he broke into our senior squad. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and last season Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract. You've got Marcus Rashford, that's also good. It was good to see Marcus Rashford score on his comeback. It was Rashford's first appearance since the Europa League final last season. Not so long ago, Rashford scored twice in that behind closed doors friendly game against Blackburn. Rashford was out with a shoulder injury for a while, and don't forget at one point he had to have an operation on his shoulder. Recently Rashford's camp were unhappy with Solskjaer. Solskjaer told Rashford he needs to prioritise his football instead of his off-pitch activities. Rashford, I think he'll be in contention to play against Atlanta tomorrow. We need to keep Rashford on the left wing because that's where he's mostly effective. He's far superior on the left wing to how he is on the right wing and up top. Rashford's been part of the club for a long time. He's been a United player since the age of 7 and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. He's got a contract with Man United until 2023. You've got Edison Cavani, that's also a good player. Cavani didn't play against Leicester due to personal reasons, but he did play against Everton before the international break. Cavani was out with injury earlier on this season. I think Cavani will be leaving Manchester United next year, but I can't say I want him to leave with the impact he's made since he's come in. Earlier on this season it said Real Madrid want Cavani on loan in January, and I presume Barcelona will reignite their interest because Barcelona tried to get Cavani on deadline day in the summer transfer window. Cavani's got under a year left on his contract at Man United. It was back in May Cavani signed that 1-year contract extension and he's on over £200,000 a week. I think Jadon Sancho's a good player, but Sancho has endured a poor start to his Manchester United career. Now, reflecting on that, fans are starting to get on Jadon Sancho's back. Solskjaer's accountable for Sancho's poor performances because Solskjaer is persistently playing Sancho out of position. You know, he's playing him on the left wing. And yes, he can play on the left wing, but that's not his predominant position. His predominant position is the right wing. He's far superior on the right wing to how he is on the left wing. Sancho can also play through the middle. But revert back to what I've said before. I said Sancho will do well at Man United providing that Solskjaer uses him correctly. And it does take some players time to settle in general. Not every player does good straight away. Earlier on this season, Borussia Dortmund warned Man United about the Jadon Sancho problem. Borussia Dortmund's CEO did say that Jadon Sancho's lack of game time at Man United is hurting my soul. We got Sancho for 78 million with add-ons included. We paid like 73 million up front. Sancho's under contract with Man United till June 2026. There's an option of a further year. Bruno Fernandes, he's also very, very good. Fernandes got the assist for Mason Greenwood's goal against Leicester last weekend, but apart from that, Fernandes didn't really do much. There has been quite a few games where Bruno Fernandes has looked off the pace, but in a lot of games at Manchester United he's been consistent. Like I've said to you before, Fernandes is one of our best players and he's one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. Fernandes has been at Manchester United for almost 2 years. We got him from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Last season Fernandes won Player of the Year and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Bruno Fernandes wants to stay at Manchester United. He made that clear earlier on this season. And earlier on this season it said Fernandes was close to signing a new 5-year contract with Man United worth £250,000 a week with the signing of Ronaldo. At the moment Fernandes is under contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. He predominantly plays as a number 10. You've got Donny van der Beek, that's also a good player, but revert back to what I've said before, I haven't really had much of a perception on Van der Beek because he hasn't been given enough game time at Manchester United. And I've said before, Solskjaer needs to start Van der Beek, especially in the Premier League. Van der Beek played no part against Leicester last weekend. Surprised at that. Very surprised. Solskjaer decided to go with Matic ahead of Van der Beek against Leicester. Not so long ago, it said Solskjaer's private view on Van der Beek became public. Solskjaer still believes Van der Beek has an Old Trafford future despite his lack of game time. Earlier on this season, Van der Beek was furious with Solskjaer as he was left on the bench in Man United's win over Villarreal. So reflecting on that, he said Van der Beek will try to force a January transfer away from Man United following his Villarreal meltdown. Earlier on this season, Van der Beek told Solskjaer his best position he reckons he'd be best served operating as a number 6 or as a number 8. And earlier on this season, Van der Beek spoke about his Man United future in an exclusive interview with Rio Ferdinand. But I think he'll leave in January. Well, Fabrizio Romano revealed earlier on this season that Van der Beek's planning to leave the club in January. Many clubs have been in for him. Earlier on this season, it said Van der Beek's agent is said to be working hard on finding a new club for his client. He's been at Man United 18 months and this season is Van der Beek's second full season. We got Van der Beek for 40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025 and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Now obviously you've got Paul Pogba, that's a good player. Not only a good player, he's an imperative player. Pogba recently played against Leicester. Didn't really do much. Don't forget Paul Pogba came out and said that something needs to change at Manchester United after Manchester United's 4-2 defeat to Leicester. So reflecting on what Pogba said, is Paul Pogba demanding Solskjaer out. Pogba's enjoyed a good start to the Premier League season. He's got 7 assists so far and he produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season. Don't forget the other week Andy Mitten from The Athletic said that Manchester United offered Paul Pogba £400,000 a week to stay at Man United. That would see Pogba become the second highest earner at the club. At the moment, Pogba receives around $290,000 a week. Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract. He said earlier on this season though that Pogba wants to stay at Man United and sign this new contract worth £400,000 a week, and Paul Scholes backed Paul Pogba to stay. You've got Luke Shaw, that's a very good left back, but he's been out of form so far this season. Where's the Luke Shaw from last season? There again, not so long ago, Luke Shaw came back from a minor injury and illness. I'm sure at some point he will regain his form. You've got Alex Telles, that's a decent left back, but he doesn't really get in the team. I'm expecting Telles to leave next year. You've got Harry Maguire, that's good when he wants to be. He's had his good games at Man United, he's had his bad games. I think he has been poor so far this season, if I'm going to be honest with you. Maguire played against Leicester last weekend. I heavily criticised Solskjaer for playing Maguire against Leicester. Maguire was abysmal against Leicester, he made some howlers. But he was just back too soon by Solskjaer. Maguire's just come back from a calf injury. Maguire had ligament damage in his ankle towards the end of last season. Varane's a good centre-half. Varane is out of a groin injury at the moment. He's out for a few weeks. He's, a big miss for Manchester United. Eric Bailly, you know, he's a good centre half as well, but he's struggling to get in the team, obviously, with the arrival of Varane in the summer transfer window, and plus Lindelof's head of Eric Bailly. For some reason, Solskjaer prefers Lindelof to Eric Bailly. And Wan-Bissaka, you know, he's also a good right back as well, but there's aspects of his game that I've got to improve. You know, and you've got David De Gea, very good goalkeeper. De Gea's done really well so far this season. Don't forget De Gea reclaimed the #1 spot back. And Henderson's a good goalkeeper as well. He did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. He's only been in goal for one game so far this season. That was West Ham in the Cup, and he did well. But don't forget Henderson was out with COVID for a long time. So there you go. We've got a good squad. But there's players at Manchester United that are inconsistent. You know, I don't think Fred's good enough. You know, we overpaid for Fred. We got him in a deal worth 50 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. Fred didn't play against Leicester last weekend due to personal reasons. It was the international games he played during the break. I don't think McTominay's good enough. I have praised McTominay before. McTominay had some good games though last season. Martial's not good enough. I'm expecting him to leave next year. Martial doesn't really get in the team. I don't think Lingard's good enough. Don't forget Jesse Lingard recently rejected a new Man United contract offer because of 2 players. I don't think Matic is good enough either. I'm hearing that Barcelona want him. Jones isn't good enough. You know, Jones doesn't get in our team anyway. You know, Lindelof's not good enough either. I don't think Dalot's good enough. So there you go. On my next video, I'll be giving you my predictions for the Manchester United-Atlanta game. Then after that, I'll be giving you my reaction to Solskjaer's press conference. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. See you all again soon.